The World Cup. The World Cup is the biggest international football tournament in the world. Unlike club football, where teams like Real Madrid, Manchester United, Arsenal or Barcelona compete, the World Cup is all about
I know
countries.
of those teams.
Instead of supporting a club, fans are watching national
I've never
teams
seen
like
them play,
Brazil,
though.
Argentina, England, France, and many others compete to become world champions. The tournament is
Right.
organized by FIFA and usually takes place every 4 years. That is part of what makes it feel so special. You do not get a World Cup every season, you get one every 4 years. So every tournament feels like a major global event. At its
Yeah, the
simplest,
stakes around
the World
it
Cup
are
is football's
huge.
way of answering one question: which country has the best national team in the world? Why does the World Cup matter? The World Cup matters because it is bigger than just another football tournament. For many countries, it becomes a national event. People who do not normally watch football suddenly tune in. Families, friends, cities, and entire nations.
For example, that's me. I don't really watch football matches. This year I am.
Follow their team together.
This is perfect.
Because when your country plays, it feels personal. It also matters because players are not representing a club team that they play for every season. They're representing where they come from. That creates a different type of pressure. A mistake can hurt an entire nation, but a great performance can make a player a national hero forever. And because the World Cup only happens every 4 years, chances are limited. A great generation of players might only get 1 or 2 real opportunities to win it. That is why every match feels important, and why
It is
winning the
important.
World Cup is.
The stakes are high. I mean, if it's every 4 years, that's a big deal to a lot of people. And it's crazy too to understand that, you know, you could be playing on the same team for your country, but against someone as well during other games, like club games during the year. You might have some beef, you might have a little rivalry mixed in there, but you come together as one for your national team. That's
one
awesome.
of the biggest achievements in football or a player's career. Who gets to play in the World Cup? Not every country automatically gets to play in the World Cup. Before the tournament begins, countries have to qualify through their own region. Europe has its own process, South America has its own, and Africa, Asia, North America, and Oceania all have their own routes too. The host nations qualify automatically. For everyone else, it has to be earned.
So he said the host nation automatically qualifies, but everyone else has to work their way in. So all these teams play each other, and I guess the winner of these little groups here, makes it into the World Cup.
South America has its own, and Africa, Asia, North America, and Oceania all have their own routes too. The host nations qualify automatically. For everyone else, it has to be earned. For new fans, the easiest way to follow the teams is to think of it in 4 categories. The favorites, nations with the squads and experience to go all the way. France, Brazil, Argentina, England, Spain, Germany, and Portugal are usually the suspects. The dark horses, they're the teams that could surprise everyone. Norway are a compelling example this year, qualifying for their first World Cup in decades with Erling Haaland leading their attack. The underdogs are nations who very few expect to go far, but who create the tournament's best stories.
Norway is a dark horse.
Morocco reached a semi-final, and Japan beat both Germany and Spain in the group stages.
Let me know who you guys think is your guys' dark horse in the comments, man. Who do you guys think
who can change a game in one
might win it all? Who's not favored to
Mbappe,
win it all?
Harry Kane, Vinicius Jr., Messi, Ronaldo, and Lamine Yamal if he recovers from injury in time. So when watching for the first time, don't just ask who is playing. Ask which category they fall into. How qualification works. Qualification is basically the road to the World Cup. Because there are so many countries in world football, FIFA does not simply put every nation into the final tournament. Instead, countries compete within their own football region, also known as a confederation. There are 6 main confederations. UEFA is Europe, CONMEBOL is South America, CAF is Africa, AFC is Asia, CONCACAF is North America, Central America, and the Caribbean, and OFC is Oceania. Each region gets a certain number of World Cup places, and within each region, countries play a series of matches against each other over months or even years. The top finishers earn their place at the World Cup, so qualification can look very different depending on where a country is from. For some major nations, qualifying is expected. For others, simply reaching the World Cup is a historic achievement. And for the 2026 World Cup, this matters even more because the tournament has expanded from 32 teams initially to 48 teams, meaning more countries than ever will get the chance to play on the biggest stage.
So it was originally 32 teams. Now, what was it? 48? That's a big difference there.
More. Because the tournament has expanded from 32 teams initially to 48 teams, meaning more countries than ever will get the chance to play on the biggest stage in football.
So let me know what you guys think about that. Do you like that they changed it from 32 to 48. Let me know what you guys think, the pros and the cons. I'm indifferent. I have no clue. I think having a little bit more teams playing in the tournament is always a good thing. It gives teams more so on the bottom of the totem pole, so to speak, a chance at winning it all.
The World Cup draw
I don't think it's a bad thing.
Once the teams have qualified,
but I'm curious to see what your guys' thoughts are.
The draw is where the tournament starts to take shape. It decides which team go into which groups and who each country will face in the first stage of the competition. Teams are usually separated into different
I feel like that's important. The first team you play
are mainly used to stop all the strongest teams being placed together straight away. So instead of having one group full of elite teams and another group full of weaker teams, the draws try to spread them out more evenly. But even with that system, some groups can still end up much harder than others. That is where the phrase group of death comes in. It usually means a group with several strong teams, where even a good side could be knocked out early. So the World Cup draw does not decide who wins the tournament, but it can make a country's path much easier or much harder. The group stage explained.
So you kind of battle it out in your own country of what team's gonna make it, and then from there you go into your group stages, and it's like he said, you're placed in a group of 4 teams, and you battle it out, and the winner or the top 2 make it through. I mean, the whole thing sounds intense.
The World Cup.
Not a lot of room for error.
Teams are placed into groups of 4. Each team plays the other 3
groups
teams
of 4,
giving every side 3 matches to prove themselves. The aim is to collect enough points to finish high enough in the table and reach the knockout stage. In the 2026 World Cup, the top 2 teams from each group advance automatically. On top of that, the 8 best third place finishers from across all groups also go through. So finishing third is not automatically the end, but it is a risk. This part of the tournament gives teams a little...
So the 8 best third place teams out of each group make it.
Bit room for error. One bad result does not always end your World Cup, but it can also put you under serious pressure.
So then it's based on points.
If a team wins its first match, they're usually in a strong position. But if a team loses their first match, their next game can suddenly feel like a must-win game. The group stage is where the tournament starts to build drama. Some favorites qualify comfortably, some big teams struggle, and sometimes smaller nations shock everyone. Points, goal differences, and tiebreakers. In the group stage, teams are ranked using points. A win gives you 3 points, a draw gives you 1 point, and the loss gives you 0 points. So if a team wins one match, draws one match, and loses one match, they finish with 4 points. But sometimes 2 or more teams can finish level on point. When that happens, the tournament needs tiebreakers to decide who finishes higher. The main one is usually goal difference. This means the number of goals a team has scored minus the number of goals they've conceded. So if a team scored 5 goals and concedes 2, their goal difference is +3. But if they score 2 and concede 5, their goal difference is -3. This is why
I did not expect how many levels there were to the World Cup. Like, not only are you trying to figure out who makes it by who wins, who loses, but then there's points on top of that. And then if there's a tie, you're going at point differential. I mean, there just seems like so much pressure behind each match might not every game.
It could decide who qualifies and who goes home. The knockout stage. After the group stage, the World Cup moves into the knockout stage. This is where the tournament becomes much more brutal. In the group stage, a team can lose a match and still recover. But in the knockout stage, there are no second chances.
Done.
If you win, you move on. If you lose, your World Cup is over. The knockout stage follows a clear path. The last 32 starts the process.
I don't know, man.
16, then the quarterfinals, then the semi-finals, and finally, the final itself. With every round, the field gets smaller and the stakes get higher. Although not literally, the field does not literally get smaller, it just means there's less teams. There is also a third place playoff, where the 2 losing semi-finalists play one final match to decide who finishes third in the tournament.
So I don't know if this guy in this video said this, but if it's a 48 team World Cup, then after the qualifiers, when you reach the elimination, is it then 48 teams in the elimination, or is it 32, or is it even less? Because I'm pretty sure it went from 32, 16, 8, 4, and then the final game, but it has to be 48. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out then.
The last 2 teams left compete to become world champions in front of a global audience of billions. This is also where pressure becomes much...
Hold on, what was this graphic here?
...in front of a global audience of billions.
2.3 billion people watched the FIFA World Cup Russia 2018. 5.4 billion people watched it in 2022. What? Guys, I was not one of that 5.4 billion. I was not there. I should be ashamed of myself after that.
Billion?
5 billion?
Teams often play more carefully because one mistake
Aren't
One
there
red
like
card,
7
one
or
missed
8
chance,
billion
or one
people in the
penalty
world?
shootout can send them home. So if the group stage is about surviving, the knockout stage is about handling pressure when everything is on the line. Extra time, penalties, and the final. In the group stage, matches can end in a draw, but in the
Yo, real quick though, it's like I remember playing video games when I was a kid, and like the servers would be too crowded and you would have to wait to log into a game, or your game would just crash because the servers couldn't handle it. But you got 5.4 billion people. How does that work? I wonder how much stress that puts on servers across the world. There is no way. They got to be doing something, because
knockout stage is about
surely
handling
people are
pressure
going to be
when
having
everything is on
issues
the line.
with
Extra
connection
time,
and all that
penalties,
stuff.
and the final.
5
In the group
billion
stage, matches
people?
can end in a draw, but in the knockout stage, every match needs a winner. So if a knockout game is level after 90 minutes, it goes to extra time. Extra time, as we've explained in previous videos, is 30 more minutes of football, split into 2 halves of 15 minutes. If one team is winning after extra time, they go through. But if the match is still level after extra time,
Yeah.
it goes to a penalty shootout.
120
In a penalty
minutes is
shootout,
crazy.
each team takes turns sending individual players to take a shot from the penalty spot, one-on-one against the goalkeeper. Each side starts with
Yo, guys, I'm not familiar. I know this is Messi, the greatest soccer player or football player, excuse me, of all time. Who is this guy?
against the goalkeeper. Each side starts with 5 attempts. The team that scores the most wins. If it is still level after 5 each, it continues one penalty at a time until one team misses and the other team scores. This is one of the most dramatic moments in football, and it was also how the World Cup ended in 2022. Entire tournaments can come down to one player, one shot, and one goalkeeper.
Yeah,
guessing
that's
the right
intense.
way. Eventually, the knockout stage leads to the final. The last match of the tournament, where the last 2 teams standing compete in front of a global audience.
I could not imagine though being in, what was it, a shootout penalty with 5 billion people watching you. Oh, the pressure that person has to feel, both the goalie and the person kicking the ball, has to be unimaginable.
Of
5 billion people are watching.